Good afternoon, parents, and welcome to back to school night. That's kind of weird to think about. I thought it'd be appropriate as you're watching this from home that I would also present this from my home. So it is a pleasure to meet you. My name is Luke Middlebrook. I am the AP Psychology teacher at El Capitan High School. So I am your son or daughter's teacher for the first and second semester of AP Psychology. So today I'm going to be going over the basics of the course, what is asked of your son or daughter, what the course kind of looks like, and then who I am as a teacher. So I graduated from El Capitan High School in 2008. I then went to Grossmont College, got my associate's degrees in economics and business. I then transferred to San Diego State, got a degree in economics, and then got my master's in education and leadership with a focus in technology integration. So with that, I was always associated and I always really enjoyed psychology. I actually worked for an education company that was heavily focused in psychological aspects of teaching accelerated learning to students around the world. So in my career, I've traveled to many different parts of the United States. I worked at a conference in New Mexico, working in Hobbs, New Mexico for an all-girls conference where I was teaching young women accelerated learning techniques in order to get to college. So that was a conference I was sponsored. I've been around the world. Lived in Hong Kong for a few different times teaching Hongolese, Hong Kong students, the people of Hong Kong. I think they're Hong Kongers, is what they say. The people of Hong Kong, the children of Hong Kong, accelerated learning techniques as well. So I've been around the world. I've met many different peoples. I've had crazy adventures, and so I'm kind of a well-rounded person. But I was born and raised in Lakeside, and I recently purchased a house in Lakeside as well. So still living here. So with that, I bring in a very wide range of dealing with psychology. I've had quite the training of it. When I get home, so something about me. When I get home from work, I actually read psychology textbooks. I read psychology papers. Most of the nonfiction books I read have a strong pillar in psychology. So it's one of those things that I've been naturally interested in. So I'm really passionate about teaching this course. I've taken this course over from Danny Craig, who was one of my teachers when I was in high school. And one of the guys I looked up to is becoming a teacher because of the way that he taught. So I want to embody some of the teachers that I had in the past that I thought were so great and bring them into this course as well. So the purpose of this course is to get you to understand the basic principles of psychology so you can better understand you and the people around you. Psychology is everything. It's the way that we interact. It's who we are. It's what we are. It's how we do things. It's why we do things. I think psychology answers the big question, which is why. I've always asked why, like, why do we do that? Or why does this happen? Or why do we do this? And many times people weren't able to give me the answer. So as I started to branch off into the why things exist, I started to go really deep into body language. And then I thought that would answer why. And that kind of gave me a tip. Well, then I started reading books about personality. And then that kind of gave me another aspect. So the more that I study, the more in depth my answer to why we do things becomes. So that's my goal, is to understand why things exist and why we do what we do. So here are some questions for you, Mom and Dad. Who are you? Or better yet, what are you? Did you know that you have more individual bacterium or bacteria cells, individual bacteria living inside of your stomach than you do that make up cells of your body? So when you say, what are you? Another way we can look at that is maybe you're just a container for all the different organisms and microorganisms that live inside you. So I think looking at what we are and who we are, is a very complex question. Another thing that I think is really fascinating is, where are you? Like, where are you? You're physically inside of your room as you watch this video, but where are you inside of your body? Are you inside of your hand? Are you inside of your finger? Are you inside of your feet? Are you in your chest? Like, where are you? When you think of you, where are you? Are you here? Are you here? Are you here? Are you here? Like, where do you exist? So as we ask these questions, In Search of an Answer exposes us to the truth of what and who we are and how we operate. And the purpose of this course is to teach the basic mechanisms, the basic understanding, and a broad overview of the general aspects of psychology. We learn the basics of neuropsychology and the systems that create us. We learn about parenting. We talk about intelligence, personality, socialization, development, Piaget. So we have many, many things that we're going to be covering in this course. And it's a really exciting course, and it should be really interesting. So what's asked of your son or daughter is every week while we're in distance learning, they're going to be asked to do vocab. That is a major component of the course, because if you do not know the vocab, you will not do well in the multiple choice. This class is heavily vocabulary oriented. In addition to the vocab, we also do a weekly FRQ, which is a free response question. This is kind of like the test to make sure that what we're learning, it's kind of like a take-home test that you can use your notes because it's really hard. So we're also learning exposure of how to write scientifically. And that's one of the biggest challenges I've seen so far, is being able to think and write and articulate yourself in a scientific manner is challenging. And it is also a novel skill. It's novel because we don't teach people how to think scientifically unless if they get to the upper echelons of education. So get rid of that. Thinking scientifically is a challenge, and I think learning how to do it as a sophomore, junior, or senior in high school will provide you much benefit the better you get at it later on in life. So as we get to the goals and objectives, that's pretty much what's stated here. The course materials, we have a textbook as now. Since we are not really in the classroom, I'm not going to go too deep in what materials are required. You pretty much need access to the textbook and your computer. For grades, we do quizzes, tests, projects, essays, participations, and we also do experiments. When the experiments come up, I'm going to ask your son or daughter to engage in an experiment that engages them with some aspect of their learning. This week, I think we did one on food, so sensation and perception. Why is it that we have different responses to food? And why is it that some people have such a strong response to one food, but other people have such a different response? Well, that's the psychological development. So for your son or daughter to engage in this class, I suggest they put effort in. That's the best way they can do it. The more effort they put in, the better they'll do. We have classwork, absences, experiments, extra credit, plagiarism, grades, office hours. I'm not going to spend too much time on that because you can read that, and it's just like every other course. There's nothing really out there that is too different. I'm very excited to teach this course because I've always been passionate about psychology. I really enjoy having your students in class. I'm looking even more forward to actually having them in class where we can talk about it, because I think being 100% online, we've kind of been cheated of having authentic conversations and engaging in deep conversations and talking about things that are on the periphery of relevance when it comes to the AP test. Like some days, I think it'd be cool to talk about things that are not going to be on the AP test, but are still important to talk about. And I think we've kind of been cheated of that with online, since everything we do is focused on the test and there's no really extra that I apply. So I'm really looking forward to getting back into the classroom so we can have more divergent and diverse conversations about psychology, and we can have more honest conversations with people together. So really looking forward to that. Super excited to have your kids in my class and looking forward to a great year. If you need to get a hold of me, my email is listed on top of the syllabus along with the phone number for the school. So if you ever need anything, please reach out. It is a great pleasure to have your son or daughter in my class, and I'm looking forward to a great year. Thank you.